Florida radio too. I know it's all make believe, but we're going to talk about it. Let me tell you right now.
This is make believe.
I know, Hirsh. Good morning, everybody. Hippo's in the house. It's our pleasure to have on. He's a second timer, Tommy. He's a two-timer here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Hirsh, who was here on the book called The Liberators, about the GIs during World War II that liberated the concentration camps in Europe. You had a good turnout at your speaking engagement down in Edison, and we welcome you back, Michael Hirsh.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Good to see you, lad.
I'm worried now.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to ask your wife a question real quick. When he was writing the book, move up to the microphone, Laura.
Okay.
Karen.
Yeah, Karen. Laura, I'm thinking of the book.
Yeah.
When he was writing The Liberators, what kind of mood was he in? Because that had to be a very Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I want to know.
Depressing, very depressing.
Okay, what about this book, Fly on the Wall?
This was a lot more fun.
Okay, so you can't do those nonfiction books anymore. All right?
Well, that depends on your audience. If they go to these bookstores and show up at the signing and buy books by the Bush
Carlo, to send the people up north what they've got to deal with down here.
Right.
Michael wrote a book about a murder that happened during Hurricane Charlie, and he is like an off-duty police officer. Well, not really off duty. A volunteer. It's the other guy.
It's the other guy.
Yeah, you're jinxing.
He's a volunteer.
Yeah, and
reserve officer.
The story about Moscone, Fly Moscone. Is it
Moscone?
Moscone, investigating everything, and he goes through Charlotte County and talks about, unfortunately, in the foreword, he gives credence to some guy named Saladay. And,
really?
Oh yeah. Oh, Tommy.
Is he in the book?
He's in the book like he's on the radio.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But you've come out with this book. And how is...
This is fiction.
I know it's fiction.
Yes.
But how has the response been to folks around town that have read it? Because I know you've...
Only a few people have read it. You're probably one of the very few people. I mean, it just came out within the past, 4 days.
Well, I know Steve Duke only read the chapter where he was in. And Saladay only read the introduction, didn't read...
No, Saladay has read the whole book.
Has he?
Yeah, he read an earlier draft because there's a lot of technical stuff related to what happened during Charlie and after Charlie, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't screw up the technical details.
And here's a real funny one. We had just got done talking about, with Court Froelich, the lawyer, about the condos putting shutters on or having to go through the condo association with the flag situation, with people trying to flag their flags. Mm-hmm. And we talked about, and because I was in the shutter business for a while, it was amazing. That's part of the story.
Right.
And I thought that was well done.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say anything more about what was well done. But you did take a shot about radio in Florida. Ugh. I know it's fiction. I know you don't feel that way.
Here's why. I started in broadcasting and radio at KNX, the CBS radio station in L.A. I was the gopher in the newsroom. And then I was in Vietnam. And then I came back to Chicago and finished my degree and went back to work for CBS at WBBM Radio in Chicago. And then WBBM FM, where I hosted a talk show. And then for 10 years, I hosted a talk show on Sunday nights on WLS, which is 50,000
World's
watts.
largest store.
Yeah, exactly. Owned by Sears a long time ago. 50,000 watts clear channel with the transmitter in a swamp, which meant on Sunday night at midnight, you're reaching the whole country.
Yep.
Okay? And I mean, WBBM was an all-news station. KNX, when I was there, was pretty much, I mean, the newsroom staff, 22, 24 guys and women. Back then. And then...
It was so long ago.
Yes. Well, I'm old. I won't say you're old. Tommy's old, but I'm old.
Okay.
But then we come to Florida. And you start flipping the dial, listening for, local news. And what they call local news is people calling in and hosts screaming at people and stuff. And I'm going...
That's the next show.
That's the next show. Right. Yes. But I mean, where's... I'm looking for local news. But what really got me was when Charlie was coming. The hurricane, not some guy down the hall.
Right.
And that night, the guy who is the basis for the lead character in this book, Fly Moscone, called me at about he was the guy. I mean, he was watching you know, on the computer watching, you know, the spaghetti and all that stuff. And he calls me at about 11:10 at night, and he says, "We got to leave." Why? They just changed the track. Instead of Tampa, it's going south of Tampa.
And at that time, it was Sarasota, Venice.
Right. So, me being logical, I mean, we got all our stuff that I thought we needed to take with packed. And I pick up the phone and I call the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, and I said, "Is 75 open?" You know, they don't know. I turn on the radio. No help. You know, I called.
You had the wrong station.
I called that night.
No, that night late. Yeah, you were not going to get anything.
Nothing. And I mean, I had visions of, well, if I'm smart enough to leave, there's got to be 25,000 other people smart enough to leave.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to find out, do I dare get on I-75 going south and then across Alligator Alley, because we had friends who had a condo in Weston and we were going to go stay there. And Lee County Sheriff, no help. The radio, still no help. Public radio, no help. You know, they're playing, you know, classical music.
Yeah.
You know, and I finally get down to the Collier County Sheriff. Well, we think it's open, but we don't know. Wonderful. Then I'm driving. We get in the car and we're driving, and we're just hitting the early bands of Charlie. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got the radio on, and I forget what station it was. It was a Fort Myers station,
Yeah.
and they're simulcasting television news. Okay, you've been in radio, you are in radio, I've been in radio. The one thing we know is, you know, television without the pictures is not radio. Radio is radio. Try listening to a guy who's really great giving you the weather forecast.
But pointing at stuff, and it doesn't transfer on radio.
Yeah, he's saying, yeah, the early bands are here, here, and here. Really. And then what really got me is the brand newbie reporter that they send out to Home Depot, which stayed open late to sell plywood. And it was a she in this case, and she's telling me all about how, you know, well, there's lots of people here, this, that. And I said, we don't need this information right now. You know, Charlotte County is under evacuation orders. I need to know where I can go. No help.
When did I can't remember when Wayne had issued the evacuation orders. I thought it was the next morning, about 7 o'clock when I went on the air. Because it was getting closer to here.
I think so, but the really low-lying areas, the mobile home parks,
Yeah.
those places I think had been already ordered out. Wayne will correct me.
Yeah, momentarily, I'm sure.
Momentarily.
We're with Michael Hirsh, the author of the book. There's going to be a book signing this Monday night at Dean, south of the border restaurant, right there behind the Wyvern, coming up 41. If you'd like to go down and purchase the book, we'd like you to do that. Michael will sign it for you. And it is a fascinating read because it's all about Charlotte County. Good morning, sir.